So I fell down and the camera got damaged. I fell down because there was a dog running to me really aggressively. So I took my stick and I tried to scare him. But there was gravel on the ground, so the bike didn't keep balance and fell down. So now I have some, little things on my knees and my finger and my elbow, but for the rest it's okay. It could have been worse. Too much uphill. Too much uphill. Too push now. It's too steep. was steep uphill, and even now that I changed the bike with a bike with 24 years, still it was too steep to cycle. I had to push the bike. And now as well, so I'm leaving now Yerevan in Armenia to go to Iran. From Yerevan to Theran, the capital of Iran, it's more than 1,000 kilometers. It should be something like 1,300 kilometers. Hello. So I fell down and the camera got damaged. I fell down because there was a dog running to me really aggressively. So I took my stick and I tried to scare him. But there was gravel on the ground, so the bike didn't keep balance and fell down. So now I have some, well, little things on my knees and my finger and my elbow, but for the rest it's okay. It could have been worse. So I have about 1,000 grams, which is €2, and of course here life it's much cheaper, but not that much cheaper that I can live with 1 week with €2, because now I have to live with 1 week. I have to live 1 week with €2 because I don't have other money left. So you find here either barracks with shops and snacks, or you find really fancy restaurants. So, in countries where the economy doesn't go so good, people want to show off. They want to show that they're rich, so they do really fancy activities, and their only preoccupation is to show how much wealth they have. Merci, merci chat. Ciao. So, one of the most fancy restaurants that I've found on the way from Yerevan. So from Yerevan it's about 30 kilometers, and the fanciest restaurant that I found does not have payment with cards. Probably the rich people going there, or the Russian rich people going there, they don't pay with card but just with cash. So there is here a bigger road. working without even clothes and protections. Yeah, really dangerous for safety. And there's even young people doing it. In Yerevan, I paid almost €2 for 1 kilogram of grapes. It's a crazy price. They were the more expensive grapes. They had several kinds, and also the shop was a bit fancy, but that's why I chose it. I thought maybe it's a bit cleaner than somewhere else. And now I bought a couple of bananas, and the price will have been about €1 for 5 bananas, which is good. I guess the 5 bananas are at least 1 kilo. So suddenly you find those kind of castles among barracks. And then you see that there is money, but it's just in the hands of few people. So flat tire, now I have to repair it. I've pumped it maybe too much. So day 3. I slept at the farm because I could not find anything else, because I saw that I was approaching the village, and near to villages it's always hard to camp. And then I also saw that it was almost dark. It was getting dark, so I could not cross the village and then search for another place. So I saw a small building with some people there, and I asked them to sleep there. Actually, I asked them to put a tent, to pitch a tent somewhere nearby. But they've been over polite. They didn't want. They told me that there was the dog that would create problems. That's why it was better to sleep inside. So they let me sleep. They allowed me to sleep inside of this farm. It's actually a small room on top of the farm, on the bed, and I slept actually with their kids, 13 years old boy, which also slept there, while the family slept at the house in the village. They were really kind and warm, just that while I was talking with them, the guy was going inside of the farm, and then I continued to talk and he was answering from inside the farm, and then he came out with a knife in one hand and a piglet in the other. So this thing made me feel a bit strange, a bit uncomfortable for the animal. So now the thing is to... Hello! Iran! So now I think I will not eat meat for a while. Well, maybe not forever, but for a while for sure. And of course, this was not all what happened yesterday. Yesterday I also had a flat tire. And now I hear also noise from the wheel. Let me check. So there is the tent touching a bit on the wheel sometimes.
The tour is 13 kilometers to the left of you.
cold, so I have to go a bit faster. So now the uphill is starting, and from now on I will be on mountains until the border, or at least for a big piece until Iran. So let's see how it is with this other bike.
The tour is 13.2 kilometers ahead of you.
But well, it is better, but I'm not sure if I will be able to cycle even when it's more steep than now. So I guess I will have to push anyway. The cars are burning disgusting oil, black smoke coming from the exhaust gas pipe of the cars.
The tour is 13.1 kilometers ahead of you.
People says hello. So here's some machineries that they have to do road works. It seems to be more modern than anything else I've seen, which is good. So they just asphalted the roads.
A view.
Today I'm starting to climb these mountains after I passed the mountain Ararat, the most famous mountain of Armenia. So those lovely pink mountains are beautiful to see, but when you have to climb on them, it's really hard. The sun is strong. There is not much on the road, just road, likely asphalted and just recently made. So the road is good, but there is nothing else. There is no snacks, there are no restaurants on the way, no place to go to toilet. So it's just road already since this morning. I hope to find something like a small village where there are some trees so that I can rest a bit there. I have finished all the water. It's 3 o'clock and really hot, and I'm on the top of the mountain.
The tour is 3-4 kilometers ahead of you.
No shops or any fountain since I started to climb up. So if I don't get water within 1 hour, I need to stop the cars and ask for their kindness. Let's hope that they will be kind enough not just to horn at me, but also to give me some water. I had no water, neither food, so I stopped the car. Actually, the first car didn't really help much, but the second car I stopped. It was a car with a couple of older people. They were so kind. They wanted to give me even more than just one bottle of water. They wanted to give me 2 bottles of water, plus they gave me some fruits, which I don't know how to eat, but I will try anyway. So yesterday it was day 4. Today is day 5. And had a good sleep. I think I slept about 12 or 13 hours. I slept in a private field. But no one came. In the night, I heard some noises of someone or something being close to me. I was a bit afraid, but then I discovered they were just horses. Yesterday I finished the water. Luckily I got an extra bottle from a kind man. It's not good to finish water. For today I have a lot of water. I think I have at least 4 or 5 liters and little food. From now on I will take breaks between 12 and 2 o'clock because it's too hot. So I take at least a couple of hours of break. It's really important. Now I let my hair go top of my shoulders. Actually, if they were longer, it was even better. So I don't need too much sun cream, and the hair will protect my neck, which burns easily when the sun is on my back. So I just started. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm already exhausted. I got this snack from a street seller. It's similar to the Georgian sweet with inside nuts, but this doesn't have nuts inside. It's just layers of syrup from grapes. So It's made by grapes, so it's vegan as well, which is really cool. And by the way, where I camped, there were 3 horses roaming around without even a shepherd. That's great. The horses would just go around. They would not go on the street day and night. That's so cool. And actually I saw also some cows free. That's really good, because when I see them with those short chains, it's so sad. It's crazy how much pollution it's coming from the cars. I almost can't breathe. When there is a truck passing, there is just a huge black cloud, and I have to stop to wait until it goes away, because it's really hard to breathe, and I really need to breathe now that I'm going up here since yesterday. Finally, a bit of downhill. And finally, a bit of downhill. That's the cool thing of going on the mountains. It's when you go down. Even though now I am at 1,700 kilometers up the mountain, and the top peak will be 2,800, so almost 3,000 meters up. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. So, day 5, and in total I've just cycled 100 kilometers, about 100 kilometers. That's nothing, and I'm happy because I did things that I like to do. I stopped when I wanted to stop. I met yesterday Kun, a fellow bikepacker from China, cycling from China. He's also from China, and the coolest thing is that he speaks only Chinese. And he managed to cycle from China to Armenia, taking a lot of detours, and he survived. That's crazy. He's a really tough guy. There was actually yesterday even a third bikepacker that we met, a French man, a pensioner teacher, but he just stopped for short, while with Kuhn we camped together. We had 2 meals together. I even ate a bit in the afternoon, in the evening, which is really bad for me. So I had some belly things. The belly was a bit upset in the night, but it was a really cool company. He could not speak English, he knew just few words, but we managed to communicate and to have fun together, which is important. And we had a little food, actually had a lot of food with him, like dry food, rice and potatoes, and some hot sauce from China. So we shared the food we had. I had some fruits. We shared the food and then we went to sleep. He woke me up in the morning to start to eat. He was thinking only about food all the time, which is cool. But today I visited also the oldest wine factory, winemaking of the world, which is cool, but a bit strange that it seems that the person who was making the wine was getting killed while making it, after making it, because this was the ritual. So this is a bit strange. I am on day 6, I guess. I have the border between Armenia and Iran at about 200 kilometers. And then things will change, because probably I have to change also my pants from the moment that they expose a bit of skin on the legs. I don't know if it's okay. So I have to get prepared also for this. Yesterday it was cool, even though I didn't cycle much. I did just 30 kilometers, 35. But I visited what they call here the oldest wine production of the world, and I have met a couple of friendly people on the way that offered me some food, which is not so common in Armenia, but it seems that getting closer to the Iranian border, people is getting more hospitable, or maybe it's just a feeling. And then I had also a flat tire, this time the front one. I hope to find some inner tubes, because the problem are the inner tubes. The inner tubes, they are low quality. They are actually Iranian inner tubes, or anyway low quality ones. And if I inflate them too much, they don't hold the pressure. But the thing is that I want to inflate them to the maximum, because I want to have hard tires so that I can cycle better on uphills. So I have to check a bit the situation. And I washed also my stuff next to the river where I camped in a beautiful place. The only thing is that it was full of trash everywhere, plastic everywhere. It's crazy. More plastic than grass. It's really crazy. I was literally camping on the plastic. And there are not even bins for the trash. Such a pity. Such a pity, really. There is a beautiful scenery, beautiful nature, and rivers crossing through the mountains. And still, it's all ruined because of the trash. Really fresh, this grape. Grapes here are great. That's why the wine is good. And the grapes stayed overnight in a bag on the bike, so now they're fresh. Cold, like coming from the refrigerator. It was not good. Oh. My breakfast. Oh shit, it's going down. The shade of the trees is good when it's hot, like at midday. Now it's 10 o'clock or 9. It's a bit cold. day 7, I guess. So from Yerevan to Theran. Wow, beautiful landscape. I have to take a picture. Now. So, day 7, and I just made in total 160 kilometers. That's nothing, but it's okay because I am enjoying it with the people. For example, this morning I woke up, there was a shepherd with sheep. He told me, well, he was showing me with some signs that he would offer me a tea, and I went with him with the sheep, then to take some fertilizer, dry poo of cows to his home, and then there was his wife who made the tea and gave me sweets and eggs and cheese. It was really cool. But in the meantime, it's 10:30 and I just started, but it's okay. Yesterday night was really cold. I guess it was almost 0 degrees because in the morning I found ice, a bit of ice, frost on the grass, but quite a lot. So it could have been almost 0 degrees. And I was freezing in the tent in some hours. Some hours of the night they were really cold. What else happened yesterday? Yesterday a lot of uphill. Which is it's starting to become a bit annoying because I don't think that this setting that I have for bike touring is the most appropriate for mountains. To be sincere, I don't enjoy too much mountains. For sure, if it's up and down. If it will be just up and then flat and then down, it's okay. But going up and then down and up and down, it's annoying because the street, it's in bad condition. It was really in bad condition yesterday, so even going downhill, I cannot go fast. So it's like really slow uphill, slow downhill, always slow. It's not really efficient, and it seems like you never move. So I will try from now on to make the flattest path to get to Theran. The flattest possible, with the possibility of cycling without too many cars. So eventually maybe not the main road, maybe some parallel roads. It's crazy. The closer I get to Iran, the more the people is friendly. It's really interesting. The only bad thing of Iran are inner tubes, which are exploding after pumping them a bit more than the average. So you pump it a bit more and then they just break. It's really bad quality. So yesterday again for the third time a flat tire. And this not because of punctures. So there is nothing external getting inside of the tire, but the inner tube itself, it's really bad. Those are Iranian inner tubes, which if you inflate them a bit more than half hard, half pressure, they would get damaged because they're made of really poor quality. The gum is not uniform around the inner tube, so I have to buy new ones, and I have to see which one I find. Also, the power is finished. My power banks, my 2 power banks are both empty. So now it's day 7. I did not even 200 kilometers, and there are already a lot of challenges because I didn't expect so much troubles with the bike, with flat tires. I also had to remove the fender, the back fender, yesterday. And then there was rain also yesterday in the night, and really cold. Luckily the tent, it was cheap but of good quality. This new tent that I got. So it starts to become a bit hard. I will see a bit what to do. But I need to find inner tubes, absolutely. And now it's becoming to be hot. Day 9. I just passed Goris, which is one of the main cities or towns between Yerevan and the border with Iran. I've found a shop where to buy inner tubes, and they had actually only one type of them, just Chinese inner tubes, and all the text on it, it's all in Chinese, so you don't even know which characteristics those inner tubes have. Let's hope they are better than the Iranian ones, because I bought 3 of them and I've inflated now the tires to almost the maximum, because to go uphill I cannot go with the flat half inflated tires. So now it goes good, but of course I inflated the tires. So what happens now? The tires started to touch on the fender, because the fender was just a few millimeters on top of it. So I had to adjust the fender too. Now it seems that everything is okay. Let's see how it goes. I bought also this for the sun, so I don't have to put sun lotion on my neck. Let's see how it goes. And actually, last night it was one of the best nights of sleep that I had so far, because I slept down on a low altitude, so not so high on the mountain, and it was not so cold, and I was on the side of the road but nobody could see me, so it was quite good. And I like also this color. Day 9 or 10. I slept outside of probably of an industrial building where people was working inside, because in the morning a lot of people start to go there. I'm near Kapan, one of the last towns before Iran, and you can see it because there are already signs in Persian, in Farsi, and a lot of trucks transporting oil from Iran to Armenia. So yesterday it was tough. I had to climb a lot. And then I had a flat tire because of these Iranian tires, Iranian tubes. It was likely the last one. I throw it away. Now I have other inner tubes, Chinese, but it seems that they hold the pressure, so should be not a problem anymore. Yesterday I didn't find food in about 30 kilometers. There was not even one street seller selling apples, which is strange. In Armenia I've always found street sellers. So I didn't eat yesterday. Well, just a few cookies in the morning. But this morning I did eat because I found a shop yesterday at the end of the trip. Today I have to do the toughest climb up. I will have to reach almost 3,000 meters, and now I am on 600. So I have to do more than 2,000 meters up. Let's see how it goes. At least my tires are inflated now. I did most of the trip with half inflated tires because of these Iranian inner tubes, which could not hold 4 bars. Ready for the cross of the border, for the crossing of the border to Iran. With this scarf that I bought in Goris. So I actually put this scarf not because of the Islam, but because of the sun. I put this scarf so I don't need to put sun cream around my neck, even though today it's really cloudy and I don't think I will need much protection. Anyway, today it's day 11 and I'm still in Armenia, I'm now climbing up to the Megri Pass, which is the highest point where you can get through a road in Armenia. So the highest mountain in Armenia where you can go on. So it's a challenge. It's 3,000 meters. Anyhow, yesterday was a really enjoyable day because I've visited a small town after Goris. There was this town called Kapan. I visited the town, I've sent postcard, and I took it really slowly. Then I found a place to eat, a restaurant, thanks to Google Maps, and there it was like finding my new family. There was so lovely people that I've spent 3 hours there playing chess with a young girl, the son of the owner, and she was really good. She destroyed me. So today I have just a piece of bread and some small peppers for food, and it's okay because they feed me so much yesterday that I'm still with a full belly. And the thing is that they didn't even want me to pay. They invited me for food, but it's a restaurant, so I felt a bit strange. I wanted to give them something anyway, but I didn't know how much I had to push. At the end I just gave them some some items that I had which I didn't need anymore, which were heavy for me, so I gave them some present. Let's see if I manage to climb this mountain today. Day 12, and this is the kind of epical day because yesterday I met my cycling friend and together we climbed up the highest peak, the Megri Pass, 2,550 meters altitude. We climbed it up, we went down, we reached the border with Iran, and we stayed at a Kurdish Iranian house. They have been wonderful. They were so kind people, so they already prepared us for the Iranian warmth, and they feed us, they helped us, we could wash our clothes, and now we are on the way to the border with Iran. So yesterday I was alone, cold in the tent, and I had a mountain to climb. Today it's all downhill. I have a cycling friend, I slept in a house, well, with a lot of smoke. My eyes were burning, but okay. And I'm totally new and fresh for the Iranian journey. Ayatollah, here we come. day 12. I am in Iran. I crossed the border yesterday at midday, and now I'm cycling along the border with Azerbaijan, because here the border that you have, it's highly militarized, because there is this area of Azerbaijan which actually, if you see the map, it's an enclave. It's like not even an enclave, it's just at the other side of Azerbaijan. So it's just isolated territory of Azerbaijan between Turkey and Armenia, and it doesn't seem so legit, because there is Armenia then in the middle, and then Azerbaijan is at the other side. But this area is disputed, so there are some issues. There is not a real war, but there is tension at the moment. So there are a lot of soldiers on the way patrolling the border. Now it's a bit of uphill. So I'm going along this border, and I have to watch out. I have to watch out to not camp in a military area, because people have been arrested because of this. And here they have this paranoia of spies. They see spies everywhere, so I have to avoid them to think that I'm a spy. I don't know how. Yesterday the border crossing was a border crossing with Iran. I expected it to be not the best, and it was indeed the worst, because it was really disorganized. There was like police and guards not doing anything, not telling you anything. And there was just one line for both sides, to go and to come back. Like to go out of Iran and in Iran, there was the same line. So you didn't know when you had to pass the scanner for the luggage, you didn't know which direction it was going, because it was going one way and then back and then back. So my baggage was going forward and then back. They don't even know how to use this thing, or they just don't care. Anyway, they wanted to scan all my bags for the first time. I think it's the first time that they scanned my bag since this trip from Finland. Normally with a bike they let me pass really fast, even in Belarus. So after the crossing there was some annoyance due to kids, like really poor kids. They were dressed with rags, almost worse than me. Yeah. And so these kids came, they started to touch my bike, and then there was at another control station. One guy inside of the control cabin, which behaved really strangely. He had no uniform and he had a bed there to sleep, and that's all what he had. And he asked my passport. I actually was curious to know if he had a passport himself, if he had documents himself, because he seemed like a refugee. Anyway, I
Follow
crossed the
this way
border
for
and then I went
16.2
away
kilometers.
as fast as I could because I didn't like that area. I said goodbye to Nestor, my cycling friend that I met on the highest mountain in before the Megri Pass in Armenia. I said goodbye to him because he sleeps in houses and I sleep in tent. He prefers to ask for if it's possible maybe to be inside of a house, which is understandable. He prefers to be inside. Well, I slept really good tonight because I slept on top of high of these grains, and the man of the field, he came to me a bit aggressively in the start, but then I smiled and I told him who I am, and then he was okay. Well, he was already okay when I smiled without telling him anything. So it seems that everything is really good. I just need water because I finished the water. Day 14 for sure because I checked. So this is the third day in Iran, but yesterday was the first time I was in a city, in a town. I was in Yolfa, a town at the border with Azerbaijan, which is the northwest border of Iran. It was a bit shocking the first minutes in the town because everybody started to look at me like I was an alien. People literally started to come to me and touch the bike, kids and even adults. Well, I don't know if I have to get used to it, but for sure it was a bit annoying. Anyway, it seems that there is a lot of meat in the gastronomy of Iran, so I have to see how to change, or to adjust a bit the situation, or how to find some other options. Yesterday night I camped in a place where there were some dogs that could attack me, so the owner asked me to move a bit for my own protection, and then in the middle of the night I had to move, but these two people who came were really friendly. They even got water for me and they offered me food, so it was okay. I just lost probably my headphones in the move. In the meantime, the bike started to have some problems, had to repair again. So it's like repairing the bike every second, third day. I don't know other people traveling with a bike if they repair the bike that often. And then I bought sunglasses for €2.50. I think they will be not the best quality. Hope the lens will not ruin my eyes. but this is what I found. Day 15. I'm cycling now from Marant to Tabriz. Tabriz is the economical capital and a major city. So I'm here in the main road. Unfortunately, I could not find a minor road. I'm not alone. I'm with a friend, Hedar. I met him yesterday. He literally kidnapped me. He parked his car in front of me and told me that I had to go to sleep at his place and that we would go together to Tabriz with the bikes, because he also traveled by bike. And he changed his plans because he was going to Tabriz with a car. So what he did is he sent the wife alone and he took his bike. We slept at the mother-in-law place, and now we're going to Tabriz together. And before him, several other people asked me to stay over, or similar requests. A couple of times I was literally surrounded by people that would just welcome me. So far, the main problem, except the food hygiene and the cars, is the excess of hospitality, which is okay. I don't know, if you would live here, maybe it would start to be heavy, but for a few days it's okay, and I enjoyed to sleep inside and to take a shower. Day 18. I just passed Tabriz and El Goli Park. And as you can see, it's a bit cold because the altitude is of 1,500 meters. Yesterday night was quite cold, so I see tonight if I manage to go up and then down, because I have to do 500 meters up and then I have to go down here. So if I manage to finish, to climb all the mountain and go down, otherwise I will sleep at someone's place. I will just knock at some houses and I will ask to sleep there, or I will ask to put the tent and they will automatically host me. I got new glasses from sunglasses. I bought them for 20 euros in a kind of bazaar of outdoors in Tabriz. It seems that they're good. I hope they are, because if they're low quality, they're bad for your eyes. So if I become blind, it's because this was a copy. And actually it happens often that they have here copy of brands. They look like the original, but they're copy, and then after a while you notice that they were copies because of the quality. Day 19. And yesterday was a tough day. It was a really tough day because there was some rain before I was passing to the higher part of the mountain, of the higher altitude area. So all the
tour is 21.2 kilometers to the left of
I
you.
start to get wet myself because I don't have fenders anymore. I don't have mud guards anymore. So it was also cold because it was dark and cloudy, but with those really black clouds. And I had to stop several times just to warm up. And then I ate in the evening thinking that it would help my body temperature, but in the night I felt so bad with my belly. I had so much gas. The tent became a gas chamber. I was about to kill myself by my own means, literally, inside of the sleeping bag. And then a really sad thing yesterday was the genocide of dogs. So many dogs in the street, dead. Well, I know that Persian people, Iranian people, they don't like dogs because
The tour is 21.1 kilometers to the left of you.
But it's really sad to see them in the street, abandoned. Many of them abandoned, left alone, and at least 10 dogs dead on the side of the way. Day 20, and I have this scarf not because of Islamic conversion, but because of the cold. I don't know how many degrees it is, but in the night again it was freezing. The tent became an igloo. Literally, there was ice because I'm at 1,700 meters of altitude. So I barely managed to remove the ice and to dry a bit the tent, and then I wanted to go because I wanted to move a bit. It was too cold. And in the tent I was literally getting my toes frozen, even though I had many layers. So I guess this altitude...
The tour is 25.9 kilometers to the left of you.
This altitude is just... it's just too high for me. The next time I will camp in a lower altitude area, or I will ask for some houses. Anyway, yesterday I was wondering about the Persian architecture, because they have more than 1,000 years of history, but so far I didn't see any ancient history sites. Actually, I didn't see any main architectural sites. I saw just few buildings. I wonder where is the rest. And also Persian gastronomy. So far the main food I see eating it's rice and meat.
The tour is 26 kilometers to the left of you.
That's interesting.
The tour is 23.8 kilometers ahead of you.
Day 21. So it's 3 weeks. Yesterday night I could almost not sleep. I almost didn't sleep at all because of stomach ache. I got poisoned again. I think from from an egg with sauce that I ate in a shop. So people touches money. They touch money and then they prepare the food and then they touch money again and then they do whatever. They never wash their hands. They don't even know what it is, disinfectant. In the medical station, like a first aid station of an ambulance, the guy of the ambulance asked me, what is this bottle that I have?
The tour is 23.5 kilometers ahead of you.
Disinfectant. He didn't know what a bottle of disinfectant was. I had to explain it. This is hilarious. And then the customer service was also really strange. I went to the shop, to this kind of restaurant shop. They sell stuff, they also prepare food, and I pointed them to buy some food, that they would prepare it for me. I was pointing at it, and they would not understand, they would not bring anything. And then after I went to another shop, I had the napkin in my hand, and I wanted to buy napkins. So I showed him the napkin, and he didn't understand. He wanted to give me a booklet. He wanted to sell me this booklet. But even for this, it's even hard to get something, because when you go in the shop and you are...
The tour is 23.2 kilometers ahead of you.
Other people are served before you, so it's really strange. It's like you have to go there and look at him in the eyes, and show him, look, I really want to buy this, I really want food, otherwise you don't get anything. And then at the end I bought a bottle of water. This bottle of water was open already and used, and it was the only one I had. It's unbelievable. And then there is another strange thing. The street signs are wrong. Go to the next city, I know for sure that there are about 80-90 kilometers distance, and the street sign says 120. And then after 20 kilometers again, another street sign says the same. They don't change the number of the kilometers on the street sign. Maybe to save money, they print the same street sign with the same kilometrage, even though it's wrong.
The tour is 22.9 kilometers ahead of you.
They want to kill me. Day 22.
The tour is 700 meters to the left of you.
So yesterday was actually a tough day. It started already early in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, in a really challenging way, because I had stomach ache and diarrhea. Nowadays I get diarrhea every second day. And then there was a truck accident just in front, like a few hundred meters from my tent. It was crazy. So I was there in the fields emptying my stomach, and I hear this accident. I ran there. I see two trucks upside down, flipped, and the ambulance came after 20 minutes. Luckily nobody was dead, but
the tour is 600 meters to the left of you.
a big accident. I mean, two bigger trucks had this collision, and they could die really easily in such an accident. And then because of my stomach ache, I didn't eat anything yesterday except a melon, which I bought at a stand. But there I met the sellers, which were the first that tried to cheat me in a kind of non-professional way. Like, they were not professional cheaters. Maybe they thought that I was really rich. First, they wanted to exchange 50 euros with local money, but they wanted to give me like the half of the value. I'm not sure if they didn't know about the value, or maybe they tried to cheat, or maybe they just thought I was so rich. Anyway,
The tour is 550 meters to the left of you.
Charged me a lot of money for just a melon and 2 bottles of waters. I was trying to call police, but police was unreachable because I don't even know the number, and it seems that it doesn't work from my phone. Then at the end I just gave them 1/8 of what they asked, and I left. And then on the road I found so many stones, big stones in the middle of the street. Well, at least on the right side of the street, in what is the middle of the street for me. And I noticed that they lose stones and cargo from trucks, but also they put stones in the middle of the way, or maybe on the right lane, to notify an accident or to notify that they stopped with the car. But that's crazy, because the stone is even more dangerous than not putting anything. Normally you use a triangle, you know, the reflective triangle. Here it doesn't exist at all.
The tour is 600 meters to the left of you.
Yeah. So my belly was really destroyed yesterday, and today too. I also have headache, and I feel like feverish, a lot of sun. I got so much sun yesterday that I think I have a sunburn. Let's hope I manage to arrive, because I got an offer from a truck driver to bring me to Theran, but I refused. If I will feel worse than now, I will accept next time. So yesterday the truck stopped to offer me a lift, to offer me a ride to Theran. Actually, if they would stop now, I would accept, because I'm quite destroyed. My legs are really tired. My eyes are burning from the sun. It has been 3 weeks of pedaling, mostly under the sun. And then my belly is destroyed by the food, by the poor food safety, poor food hygiene. So I cannot eat. I pedal really slow. My eyes are burning, so I cannot even see properly. Yeah, I will be happy to.
The tour is 3
To
kilometers
arrive.
to the left of you.
I still have more than 300 kilometers. I wanted to try to see the university, but they didn't allow me to go even in the garden, in the entrance. I don't know why. There is a security gate, and they don't allow you to go. maybe it's just for students. It's really strange. Maybe there is something secret there. Day 23. It's sunny, which is not always meaning that it's good, because yesterday I got a sunburn. So actually the day before I already was feeling bad. So I stopped around 1
The
o'clock.
tour is 80 meters
yesterday,
ahead of you.
and now it's about 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm starting. So I had a long sleep and low break, but it was a bit different than any other time yesterday, because I've put my tent in a park, and then
The
first
tour is
the
now
police
ahead of you.
comes.
Prepare
They're
to go
really
straight.
friendly, and they tell me that it's dangerous there, but I think that they just
You are back on the now
they are
continue
just
straight on
worried about
32.
me, that there is no real danger. So I stay. I try to sleep, and then again a guardian, like a guard, comes. He started to talk, but I cannot understand him. So I go back to sleep. I try to sleep. I'm feeling really tired and sick. My head, my belly is hurting. But then the guardian comes again, and he tells me that I have to live there because of animals. And because of other reasons of thieves or criminality, I'm not sure. So I have to move the tent in the middle of the night, which is not really what I like to do. It's really annoying because you don't see anything, and normally I always lose something, or at least last time I lost something by moving the tent in the night. So I move the tent, but then he comes to he let me put the tent next to where he has his cabin to guard. So he tells me so I can check if everything is okay. And then he comes again. I was trying to sleep. He comes several times. He's really friendly. He wants to help me. But actually the only thing I needed was to sleep. So I could not sleep much. He comes, he brings me a tea. I cannot even drink it all because then in the night I have to pee. Finally he leaves, and then I fall asleep. And then a lot of noises because I'm with the tent next to the road, so people with music. It's like that in Iran, to go out, you don't go to a discotheque, but you make, because there are no discotheques, you make the discotheque in your car. So people passing with these cars and playing music really loud. It's like you hang out in the car, because it's not allowed to hang out in bars or cafe. For sure not with women. We cannot mix women and men in the same places. You cannot touch someone of another sex if they're not married. So because of this, I didn't sleep much. And then in the early morning I was freezing. My feet, my toes became like became like ice cream, ice sticks actually. So the guardian, he came in the morning shouting and telling me, come with me. So he brought me inside of his cabin. He made breakfast for me and tea. He was really kind. He was really lovely. But he was saying that Ayatollah was good and that, well, America was not so good in the war with Iraq, but I'm not sure about the situation. So now I'm in Zanjan, and here I will not be doing a lot of cycling. I will just walk a bit to discover the city, and I am just 300 kilometers from Theran. Speak English.
The tour is 17.3 kilometers to the right of you.
Day 23, I guess. It's freezing. It's for sure below zero, but I don't know how many degrees. It's so cold that the scarf, the hijab that I had, it was frozen, so I cannot put it. I have now the same clothing that I had in the sleep because it was too cold to change my clothes. And that's the first time I do that. I just passed Zanjan, a town, a main town between Tabriz and Theran. Yesterday it was a particular day because in this town there were some protests, like people doing some marching in the street, and I saw that
the tour is 17.2 kilometers to the right
like
of you.
Students and kids, and they all had the same signs. There were even girls apart also marching, and then all the signs were about USA and against USA. So the kids, they get this strong influence already from institutions to not say that they are brainwashed. And they do these protests already when they're 10 years old or less. And it seems that the Iranian government blames the USA for everything. So if one day it's rainy, if one day there is bad weather, they blame USA. If one day you have headache, they blame the USA. It's like USA
the tour is 17.1 kilometers to the right of you.
Negotiations. It's still a bit aggressive, this approach to the resolution. There will be probably no resolution if they don't try to negotiate. So for tonight, I hope I will not freeze. I will maybe search for a place where to sleep, inside, in a home. I hope police will not arrest me, because in the town I felt a bit, well, first of all, I was surrounded by these students. I felt like attacked, even though they were all kind and respectful. They didn't steal anything, but they literally blocked me in maybe 20 or 30 of them, touching everywhere on the bike, on me, and asking questions. And actually, yesterday, the first question they asked me was, where are you from? And they all had these signs against USA, and I told them, I am from USA.
The tour is 17
And I
kilometers
know
to the right
it
of
was
you.
a big risk. It was a big risk for me. But I knew they would not do anything to me. They are kind people. Iranian people, it's kind people, and they're not aggressive. And indeed, they didn't do anything. They were even laughing or just acknowledging it. Then after I told them, no, I'm not from USA, and everything was totally fine. There was even a guy, a student protesting, wearing a shirt of America with the flag of America without knowing. I told him, and he kind of was a bit ashamed, but he didn't realize it. The only thing was that the police kind of harassed me a bit. They stopped me because I was taking picture. I even made an interview. But yeah, of course, when you take pictures, police don't like it. I miss those things that are in Europe, like, you know, a coffee, a cafe, not a coffee like the drink, but a cafe, a place where you go in and you just sit warm, or even if I don't like fast foods, I miss those fast foods also, where you can just go in and sit and take just, you know, maybe a drink, and then you can do your things, and you have a clean toilet, you have electricity plugs, you have a table, a desk to work eventually, to write something. You know, those are the things I miss, because in about 1,000 kilometers almost, I didn't find any of those.
The tour is 13.9 kilometers to the right of you.
And of course, the bicycle lanes. Bicycle lanes of Finland are the best thing a cycler can wish for. Day 24. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had to run away from the tent because it was completely frozen. I am at 1,500 meters above the sea, so in the night everything freezes. And if I would have stayed in the tent, all the ice would start to melt.
The tour is 23.4 kilometers to the left of you.
Shower inside of the tent. So I woke up already around 4 or 5 o'clock because of the chanting of Islamic songs, and then as soon as there was a bit of sun, I got out and closed the tent with the ice. My hands are frozen, but I managed to do it. So now I am 200 kilometers from Theran. I'm so happy that finally I'm about to arrive in 2 or 3 days, because it has been really tough. And those smaller villages, they are interesting, but it seems that they're more conservative. All the women have all this black cover, this black hijab, and when they see me, they turn their head. I feel a bit strange, you know, even though the men are really friendly. So now I go fast to warm up. In the night yesterday, I heard some strange noises from animals.
The tour is 23.4 kilometers to the left of you.
But not sure what kind of animals they were. I should find it out. Day 26. Oh yes, 26 days, that's really long. I didn't expect it to be so long. Every day cycling, well, except maybe one resting day. That's crazy. Yesterday was a nice day because I crossed a small town. I bought a shirt, a warm shirt, but I could not find a woolen shirt. It's like really hard to find any homemade wool product. Everything is made industrially by
The tour is 14.5
synthetic
kilometers ahead of you.
materials. From synthetic materials, so people don't even know what woolen socks are. Then I went to eat something which is still going around in my stomach and giving me some cramps, but the owner of the place didn't want me to pay. I had really to push to pay. It was really kind. It's crazy. I think it's really the most welcoming country of the world, for sure. And then I stopped yesterday a bit earlier to dry the tent, which was frozen from the night before, and I didn't cycle that much, but it was good because I was really tired. Once I stopped, I was in the tent just sitting and relaxing because the sun was strong and digestion also was a bit troublesome. And now I feel really
The tour
good
is
and really fresh.
14.2 kilometers ahead of
I
you.
feel this urge to arrive to Theran fast because yesterday was not cold. I didn't have any disturbances by animals or by people or by vehicles, so I had good sleep. Today I go to a city, I cross a city called Kwavitz. It's the last city before Theran, the last main city before Theran. Theran is just a couple of days away, like 150 kilometers. Yes, here we go. Day 27. I am just at about 90 kilometers from Theran. So in principle I could even arrive there today, but I will not arrive today because I'm not hurrying up, even though I will enjoy a long stop because it's a while that I'm cycling. So yesterday I crossed a small village, small town, and someone called me. Someone was waving at me and then telling me to go there. I went there and it was Said, a really sweet electromechanic, which worked also as policeman, which is strange. He does two jobs, and actually he invited me at this place for the night. Well, actually in the mechanic workshop. There I slept, but I was a bit worried because it literally locked me in the shop with the gate. He closed the gate of the shop and I could not open it. I could not open it from outside. And inside there was a gas stove without any exhaust pipe going out, so all the combustion, all the CO2 was inside. Plus also there was a boiler also with gas, which also had no exhaust pipe going outside. So it was crazy. I was really afraid of the that something would happen, or even if I needed to run away, I could not run away because the gate was locked. But luckily nothing happens. Day 28, last day. I am arrived in Theran. Well, always if I survive the last 10 kilometers, because the traffic, it's mad, it's just unbelievable. Cars, they think that they are the owner of the street. They go left, right, it's like slaloming. They think they're skiing. So it's really hard even to talk, because even though I'm on a small road, the cars pass on the left and on the right. They stop, they go, no traffic, no lights, nothing. I will try to take only the metro. I don't want to take those cars. They are an epidemic. They are the worst cancer of this land, and not just Iran. Now finally I turn on internet. I can search for reviews on websites about place where to eat so I don't get sick. Anyway, this trip was really tough, but I survived. I didn't imagine I would make it actually. At a certain point I thought I just get a ride with a truck, and I arrived, because 30 days, almost 30 days on the road, all in one piece, was really tiring for sure. After the mountains, and in Iran here there was never a nice place where to stop, just cycling, sometimes not eating because of the problems of hygiene here. And it became more actually a challenge than a pleasure. Normally for me it's a pleasure, but this time it was more a challenge. So see you next time. It's the next trip will be towards Pakistan if I survive, because it seems that there is in Pakistan a bit of issues. There are a bit of issues, a bit of actually weapon people. So I don't know if I may manage to make it. Ciao. It's crazy. I have to turn right, and it's just impossible. Sorry, I'm stressed, too much traffic. I cannot talk. There are barriers everywhere. Very much. So the only system to not let the scooters pass and the cars is to put physical barriers. Oh shit, unblocked. The whole cars. Okay? Okay? אתה שגור מגונה. The only way to block people, like to block vehicles like scooters, motorbikes, cars, is to put physical barriers that are high enough so they cannot climb first, or the second system is to physically put someone that stops the flow and selects, but the police doesn't care. You need to have someone like your person before with this rope. So the police doesn't care at all whatever you do. The police just cares about the hijab, the burqa, covering your head if you're a woman, and if you have sex. This is what the police cares about. Then they kill you. If you drive like mad and you kill people on the car, then it's fine. So to do 5 kilometers, it's taking hours because it's impossible just to go anywhere. So this is maybe a bike lane, but of course there are motorbikes going on it. Wow, it's one of the really worst feelings to be blocked in the traffic with cars and scooters everywhere, with no respect for anything or anyone. The only thing that I appreciate is that there is no criminality. So in Naples, in Italy, it's a bit better for traffic, but much worse for criminality. I would not have crossed that areas if it was in Naples. So this is a bike lane, but of course there is a bit of everything. So I think that in the rest of Europe or of the world, in Europe or all around the world, if you are Iranian, you don't get the driving license. Hello, thank you very much. Thank you, I have to go to the hostel. Thank you really much.
It's real food.
What is this?
Take off the plastic.
Thank you really much. Shakur. Ciao. Hello.
Where are you from?
From Italy.
What's up?
Italy. Bye. So this seems to be a bit better. Hello, Andex. On the board. So this is a touristic area. Seems a bit cleaner. Hello. There is toilet here. I can try? Thank you.
مواظب باشه.
برایش برای خودشون نون در بیارن نونو ما رو بمیدن.
رستوران غذا زره بفرمایید.
Sorry, WC, WC. Informazioni, schnell. Have a look to my bike. Check Alibaba.
Okay.
Alibaba, you. Thank you. Take a look. خدافظ. No problem. You choose. This one.
دوشنبه یه چیزی برای من بفرستی، من اینکه دوشنبه اینا خطشون استارت بشه، بقیه رو باز چهارشنبه دست در
How much time?
پیدا میکنم پیدا بریم بعد از اون بریم سوزان سر میمانم بیا اگه بسته من نرسیدم
یه دونه تکلیف.